It's that time of year where gamers rise from the ashes for another cycle of speculation, hopes, dreams, leaks, and then disappointment. That's right! E3 is here, and it's time for studios and developers to go head to head to win our adoration and praise. And I am here to rank them on an arbitrary scale totally based on my biases. From this list of companies and developers, we will crown the winner of E3. So without dawdling,
are ya ready, kids?
In last place has got to be EA. In their defense, EA had more of a Nintendo Treehouse sort of setup instead of a conference, only without the explaining what they can do part, and more of the hey guys aren't we great part.
You know what? We're talking about Star Wars. Please, keep it going. They're making a Star Wars game.
Set post.
And compared to the last E3, where I'm pretty sure the conference was for investors, this sadly was an improvement. Their big title is Star Wars Fallen Order, and my main takeaway was that I really want that robot. In all seriousness, it looks pretty alright. It seems like a single-player Star Wars game that has actual effort and passion put into it. So if you've been craving a new Star Wars adventure, this looks like it'll scratch that itch quite nicely. The rest of the show was for new features to old games. Apex Legends with a new character and game mode, Battlefield with a new map and plans for a Pacific Edition, FIFA 20 with Street Football, Madden 20 with a new career mode, though I was under the impression they already had a career mode, and Sims 4 with DLC that means if you want to play as Moana or Ariel, you only need to pay $40 more on an already $500 game. So overall, not very exciting unless you already have sunk money into their games. I have hope for Star Wars, but the rest was long, drawn out, neither funny nor interesting, and pretty much exactly what I expect from EA at this point. I give EA a loot box full of crap you already own out of 10. Sony didn't even bother to show up, and they still did better than EA. But since they in fact showed absolutely nothing, I'm gonna have to give them a failing grade. Sony gets nothing.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
Ubisoft started with an orchestra playing the smooth sounds of Assassin's Creed, and immediately jumped into the good stuff with Watch Dogs Legion. Now, we've been lied to before about the capabilities of a Watch Dogs game, but this time they claim you can craft a whole revolution out of grannies, and I for one am ready for our granny overlords. Then they go a full 180 degrees. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia actor Rob It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia actor Rob introduces a new show about game developers in an office setting. To be honest, it might just be a funnier Big Bang Theory for all we know, but I won't watch because it's on Apple TV Plus and yeah, nah. Brawlhalla is getting Adventure Time characters, Just Dance 2020 is coming to Nintendo Wii in true Just Dance style, and For Honor is getting a new game mode. Then we get to what every gamer loves, Tom Clancy time. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Delta Company, Tom Clancy's Dog, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Beta, Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Quarantine, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, Part 2, and Tom Clancy's The Division, the movie.
We have the most diverse library of games.
We got another subscription service we clearly needed, at a price we clearly can afford. We finally got something new with Roller Champions, and even though it looks like vanilla Alita Battle Angel, it at least has some color. And then we got one more new project. One with some color, some variety, something legitimately new. Even if it was only for about 30 seconds. Gods and Monsters. And that was it. If you like Tom Clancy, this was probably great. But for literally anyone else, this was a bore. I don't even have that much to say about it, and it was over an hour long. Ubisoft gets Tom Clancy's Unoriginal Shooter number 5 out of 10. Bethesda probably had the most writing on this conference. Not only did it have to excite players with new games, updates, and IP, but they also had to regain the broken trust and respect after the garbage fire that was Fallout 76. And all that had to be accomplished without their trump cards, Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. So they started with a clear sign that they knew they messed up. A whole intro of developers just gushing with praise for each of their players. And then a speech about how important the community is. And you know, it's sicky sweet, but it was progress. Then Todd Howard came out and ruined all my goodwill. He only mentioned that 76 deserved the criticism it got, then went back to, but look how great Fallout 76 is now. Yes, I'm salty over a game in a series I've never even played. That's how much Todd Howard's face bothers me. Our friend Fallout 76 came out with a massive update. They're going back on their fantastic no NPC idea and adding human NPCs with dialogue trees. Also, Fallout Battle Royale, because with that awful release, they really were a year late keeping up with the hip trends. But you know, at least everything is free after you buy the now $20 special edition for the game at Walmart. We got a Blades update and Elder Scrolls Online news. This was apparently one guy's favorite game because he would not shut
the latest chapter
up. Otherwise, we got a CGI trailer with no gameplay. Again. But Bethesda had a secret trump card all along in the form of an adorable Japanese woman, Ikumi Nakamura. She's just so cute! Oh, the game. The game. Right. Ghostwire Tokyo. The game looks interesting. I like the paranormal aspect, the creepy visuals, those Doctor Who looking guys. I'm excited and actually intrigued by it. Next was Commander Keen for mobile, resurrecting an old id IP just to send it to the mobile market void. And more mobile games came after that, with Elder Scrolls the card game. Really, the only thing of note was this drunk mud crab. You live your best life, mud crab. Rage 2 is getting new cheat codes, mechs, and motorbikes, and a ghost expansion. Wolfenstein is getting a VR game, and Youngblood is finally releasing this summer. We got a new game, Deathloop, which is another trippy game that catches my interest. And then they pull out some software that makes cloud streaming better. I'm not particularly technologically literate, but the demonstration seemed pretty legit, and with it came a look at Doom Eternal, and I mean, come on. It looks pretty hot. And what do you know? Actual gameplay footage! Overall, not as bad as I thought. They certainly ended on a high note. I can't give this conference top 3 though, for 2 very good reasons. 1, most of the games discussed were games already out and just getting new updates or expansions. And 2, most of the footage was CGI trailers and not gameplay. As cool as Ghostwire Tokyo looks and as nice as they say Fallout 76 is now, I only have their word to go on, and as I said in the beginning, their word doesn't mean much right now. I give Bethesda a desperate cry for love out of 10. Microsoft had a pretty nice conference this year. They started strong with Outer Worlds, though they didn't tell us anything about it. Then we got an online melee battler with Bleeding Edge, another look at the always stunning Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and a dungeon crawler in the world of Minecraft. Then we got some Phil Spencer trying to desperately convince us that they are clearly the conference to beat. And in some ways they succeeded. Star Wars still looks good, Spiritfarer filled my quota for new, cute gameplay, Age of Empires 2 is back and in totally necessary 4K quality, and Psychonauts 2 looks like a fun, trippy ride. And we got Lego Star Wars, Lego Forza, 12 Minutes, Way to the Woods, Phantasy Star Online 2, Tales of Arise, Borderlands 3, Elden Ring, a new Halo game. They had the usual montage of indie games not important enough for their own spot. They had the usual don't buy games anymore, just subscribe to our service instead portion of the evening. And then they had both their new xCloud service and console described to the audience. But really, there was only one game that mattered, and only one man who mattered. Man, this man is a treasure. I haven't been hyped about Cyberpunk 2077. It looks good, but it just ain't my cup of tea. But Keanu, if he calls me breathtaking in-game, I'm sold. He's just so likable, and a definite surprise I don't think anyone was expecting. To be quite honest, Microsoft had a pretty great showing and had all the ingredients for a spectacular E3. So why isn't it in my top 2 for E3 this year? Simply put, it was the conference itself. It was 1.5 hours long and the pacing was awful. 60 games were mostly presented in meh fashion, with most big titles just having CGI trailers with no real showing of gameplay or fun features. After they started talking about their Game Pass, I started to zone out because nothing extremely interesting or new was being shown. For example, I love the Borderlands series, but that trailer was kind of exactly what I would expect from any Borderlands game. There's nothing particularly new and nothing to really hype me up. And this is cool and all, but it tells me, someone with no Gears of War knowledge, absolutely nothing. There was also way too much talking for some of these games. I didn't need to hear them talk about Lego Forza. The game is out and you're adding Legos. And the xCloud and Project Scarlet were all talk, no substance. I'd be happy if there was a demonstration or a picture of what the new console would look like, but instead we got a bunch of people talking about nothing. I can explain the console in one sentence. It's got better graphics and we all hate load times. Microsoft gets a 7 out of 10. Too much talking. Square Enix had a crazy creative picture frame theme and started off swinging hard. Final Fantasy VII, the remake, the dream. This legendary title is bigger, beautiful, and better than ever, with an actual showing of gameplay of the hybrid real-time and tactical mechanics. It looks like a great middle ground between strict JRPG turn-based systems and the more modern hack-and-slash systems. Also, they finally showed Tifa and Sephiroth. Really, they could have just stopped the conference there, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be happy. But there are more titles in the Square library, and most of them are getting remastered. Life is Strange 2 is playable today, though it was already playable. Crystal Chronicles is remastered, Octopath Traveler is now available on Steam, The Last Remnant is getting remastered. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming to Switch, and Dragon Quest meets Minecraft, and so is Dragon Quest XI's. Square Enix Music is now on multiple music apps, Kingdom Hearts is getting some much love and DLC, and Final Fantasy XIV is getting a whole new expansion. We've also got Dying Light 2 coming out next spring for zombie fans, while Romancing Saga 3 and Saga Scarlet Grace are coming to the West for traditional JRPG fans. Then we got a whole new look at a brand new IP. Outriders is a unique, non-anime looking game coming from Square Enix, but that probably has to do with the partner studio People Can Fly, who've worked on titles like Gears before. It sounds like a Borderland-esque co-op single-player experience, except much more serious and darker. We also got more info and gameplay for Oninaki, but that was quickly overshadowed by the announcement of a remastered Final Fantasy VIII, coming later this year. And then the big new title for Square Enix, Avengers, took the stage. I'm not the biggest Avengers fan, but as someone who enjoys the movies, this seems pretty hype for me. Not only did they get some star voice actors to play the Avengers, but they seem to have an epic story in place that will be a whole new experience, separate from the movies. So for me, it has my attention. And with that, it seemed to be Square Enix's best showing in years. Not only do they have their classic title beautifully remade with a release date, they have multiple remasters, sequels, and even new non-JRPG IPs. The conference itself was well paced, showed gameplay for some titles that needed it, and showed some nicely crafted trailers for those not quite ready. The presenters were pretty short, and there was some variety. Overall, even if these games weren't particularly my favorite genre, I have to say that was a great presentation that started and ended strong. I give Square Enix a sexy Sephiroth out of 10. And who is left to take the title winner of E3? Look guys, I tried really hard to let go of my Nintendo-seeped bias and just accept that Square Enix had won this year, and for a while it worked. Nintendo started hard and fast with a brand new Smash character, but despite the love for Dragon Quest I'm sure a lot of people have, it was still disappointing to see another anime sword character. After that, it was just okay for a while. New Dragon Quest, Trials of Mana, Link's Awakening, Demon X Machina, Astral Chain, Fire Emblem Three Houses, even some Pokemon Sword and Shield. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited for most, if not all of these titles, but we've known about these games since the last Direct, and we hungered for something new, bold, exciting. Also, we got a Dark Crystal game in Switcher 3, which I was not expecting at all. But we all know Nintendo, in true Nintendo Direct fashion, was holding out for the end. First look at brand new Animal Crossing, Banjo and Kazooie literally smashing people's minds, and announcing not DLC, not an expansion, but a whole new Zelda Breath of the Wild game. And that made this a winner for me. Not only just because these are the games that I'm invested in, though I suppose that didn't hurt Nintendo's chances, but also because the reveals were actually new and exciting. Sure, we knew an Animal Crossing game was coming, but they showed something completely different and new in the trailer. A deserted island, crafting, putting items outside, multiplayer with multiple skin tones. None of these things were things players were anticipating. And then Banjo-Kazooie and Zelda? I know a lot of people wanted this, but who dared to believe? It was quick, it was gameplay. It was game after game with few interruptions. There was no self-congratulatory speeches, no developers coming out just to say they're working hard, no encouraging the audience to clap after every name called. Just games, gameplay, and surprises for the fans. So I give Nintendo my immortal fan soul out of 10. Now does this mean that Nintendo's games are better than all the others? Not at all, and maybe as a Square fan or Xbox fan, their season seems much more hype for you. This is just my personal list on how each conference made me feel, and to be honest, I think overall this E3 was just better than normal. So let me know how this E3 went for you in the comments down below, and I'll see you next year. For another E3 video, probably. Actually, I hope that I'm going to actually make more videos and you would bother to watch those videos after this video. But just in case, I'll see you also next year. Bye-bye!